What's up, guys? Winner Kills here. Welcome back to yet again another post-commentary feature match. I uploaded a feature match, I think, the other day. And this is one of the other feature matches I ended up recording. So we've got Invoked, Windwitch Artifact against none other than the Abyss Rising Sneak Peek playmat. And none other than motherfucking PSY-Frames. Someone came to our locals the other day. Good guy. He's playing PSY-Frames. And I'm so glad I did not have to face him, but my poor friend here had to face him. And he's never played against PSY-Frames before, so he doesn't necessarily know what's going on. And from what he told me, it was a very frustrating matchup. You've got a whole bunch of different PSY-Frames you have to worry about. One activates when your opponent declares an attack. One activates like when you activate a spell, activate a monster effect, and they're all just hand traps. There's an entire deck full of hand traps, and it's absolutely annoying. And then you got PSY-Frame Overdrive over there, which basically you activate it and you discard a PSY-Frame, and I think banishes a card face down. Using Moral Talk to get rid of that, and he banishes his other set card face down. PSY-Frame Overdrive will come back later to haunt him, activating Terraforming. And then I think this is on the when he adds Meltdown to hand, he ends up using one of his PSY-Frames that might be like Beta or Gamma. I'm not sure which one negates spells, but then he'll be able to summon a PSY-Frame Driver along with him. And basically, anytime one of the PSY-Frames activate their hand effect, I believe it summons a PSY-Frame Driver, the level 6 guy, the level 6 Manila from deck, or from, I think, hand or grave. And if they're not, used for anything else at that point, they're banished during the end phase. He's going to activate Psychic Field Zone, which I think returns 2 banished Psychics to the grave. He's definitely going to want those there. And use them for a Synchro Summon to go into the Thought Ruler Archfiend. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't own Omegas, so you gotta give the guy a break. Probably would have went into Omega instead. Not everybody has the access to own Omega. It is an expensive card and not easy to come by, so goes into the Thought Ruler Archfiend instead. Dark Holes the board, get rid of Zenmoyo. Goes into what will look like to be the Crystal Wing combo through Windwitch. Very risky activating Winter Bell's effect. PSY-Frame Overdrive flipped up. And this is the funniest thing, because I know this guy so well. And I was telling him the other day when we went to meet up to test, and I was watching this footage over again, and I saw you get your Crystal Wing banished with an Overdrive, and I'm like, I could feel the pain. Just like the sheer look and the sound and the disbelief when his Crystal Wing just got instantly banished. It was hilarious. And now he's got a PSY-Frame Field Spell after going Card Car to get some extra resources. And basically at this point he's starting to, I think he ends up picking up towards the end of the duel that doing less is so much better against PSY-Frames. You want to try to activate as little effects as possible so their hand traps don't go off. And basically, let me get back to the Field Spell. What that's going to do is anytime he uses one of the hand traps to summon them out, he basically allows them to freaking Synchro Summon as soon as they're brought out. So call a Haunted Moral Attack. Activate Moral Attack's effect, and I think he's using Gamma in hand to negate Moral Attack and destroy it. And then his Field Spell will activate, and he'll go D-Barrier. Luckily, D-Barrier will activate, and no Synchros can be made. So his monsters are going to get banished in the end phase. That's the one thing. You don't want your drivers banished. You want your drivers in grave or in deck. Or in hand too, either. I guess it doesn't really matter. And I think he just passed. The Invoked player just passed after that turn. Using another card. I'm not sure what that card was called, but it looks like it just returned 2 Psychics to his hand. A copy of Driver and something else. PSY-Frames is a cool deck, but I hate it. I hate playing against it. So I was talking about this in the last video. I was like, I've got a duel video coming out for you guys, and it's against a deck that I absolutely hate. I literally hate playing against PSY-Frames because it's one thing after another. You try to play something, and they got to stop for it. They got overcheck. They're going to banish something. They're going to banish the face down, so you can't get it back. They're going to summon more things, and then they're going to synchro during my turn. And, like, I just hate it. I hate playing against the deck. There's Zeta. The Zeta effect, I believe, is it banishes itself and a monster on your opponent's side of the field. Sort of like an Omega, but for only on field. There's Pot of Acquisitiveness. He'll put back 3 banished and draw a card. Then using Zeta to attack over Alistair for, I think, maybe 1,500, because I think Zeta has 25. Using Zeta's effect now. Attempting to banish Scythe and itself for a turn, setting 1 card face down and passing his turn. Both will return. And then he'll beat over Scythe for, I think, 300. Something very interesting happens at the end of this duel. Call the Haunted for Moral Attack again. Call the Haunted being too strong right now. Not using any effects. Just attempting to swing in for 22, and it's going to go through. And I think he might be activating Zeta's effect Engrave, which will return Zeta to the extra deck and add one of his PSY-Frames to hand. There's Dark Hole to clear the field. Terraforming is activated. I don't know why he would have activated Terraforming, but like I said, this is one of his first times playing against PSY-Frame. And there's Light End Dragon. So he's working with some weird synchros. Light End Dragon is a very weird card. Very, very weird. I think it has itself lose like 800 attack to have one monster your opponent controls lose 1,500, and that 800 loss is permanent. I don't know. Weird card, old card. Came out of Raw Yellow Mega Pack, I think, for the first time when it was released. And Raigeki will take care of that, no problem. And there's a card. But, yeah, like I said, this is the first time playing against PSY-Frame. So, like, he's learning to hate it as he's playing. And I feel bad for him because I literally, PSY-Frames is one of the most cancerous matchups to play against, in my opinion. And entirely my opinion on my own. I don't think that's fact. I mean, a lot of people might agree with me, but I definitely hate against playing against fucking PSY-Frame. It's one of the worst things ever. One of the worst things ever, probably next to Mass Driver Frogs, I would say. Looks like the Twin Twister hit a Storming Mirror Force over there. Activating Invocation, banishing Alistair and Scythe, going in for a Mechaba. And on Mechaba Summon, he'll activate one of his PSY-Frames. And that activate another PSY-Frame as he reveals it. And he's summoning out, I think, double. Because one was activated on Summon, and I believe the other was activated on the effect activation of Mechaba, which got negated ultimately. And synchroing for Clearwing and synchroing for Stardust Spark. So actually a pretty volatile combo to go in there. Both decent cards. Alistair will flip face up to add Invocation when attacked and swing in for 25 from Clearwing. Clearwing could be a problem if you had anything that would target a level 5 or higher. Very, very late game at this point. Been a lot of passing back and forth. A lot of resources being used. An intense matchup. A lot of synchro summoning. D-Barrier would have been a much better card. Obviously, in this matchup, if he had seen it a little bit more, I think he's only seen one D-Barrier this game, and it's actually been pretty impactful. Invocation being activated. Banishing Mechaba. And banishing Winterbell. Going for Elysium, and the way the ruling is, you can Elysium using an extra deck monster so long as it was properly summoned. Even if it was in the grave, the game state still acknowledges that it was summoned from the extra deck so long as it was summoned properly. So he can go into Elysium. And Elysium will attempt to activate. Stardust Spark, I think, went to protect Clearwing, and he Ghost Ogred it. And I'm pretty sure Clearwing, not sure why Clearwing is still on the board. maybe Clearwing has an effect that would have protected itself. Not entirely sure. I don't know what Clearwing's tech is. But either way, regardless, he's going into another Mechaba. A 3200 Elysium. Mechaba will get Floodgate Trap Hole. It's the second time we've seen Floodgate Trap Hole this duel. First on his Zenmoyo, now on Mechaba. Setting 1, passing back to Invoked. Alistair's here. Alistair attempting to search Invocation. The decks are getting thin. Plenty of cards in the PSY-Frame player's hands. It looks like none of them can be used so long as he doesn't bait out any of the negations. Or attempt to get them activated, trigger them. And I think the PSY-Frame player had to discard there is because I think he might have had one too many cards in hand. And activating a PSY-Frame in hand. I'm not sure which one. I don't know all the PSY-Frames by name. Stopping Alistair's attack. Going in for Black Rose. Interesting play. It's a good card to go into. Using Alistair's effect to banish himself to banish Black Rose. Might as well. Get everything off the field. A full board clear. Invocation. Negated. With, I think, Beta. And he'll pass. No Synchro Summon because his field spell was gone. Activates the field spell. And I believe he's passed back to the Invoked player. An MST for a Torrential won't matter too much. Setting another back row. Both decks are getting thin. Passing back and forth. There's Ice Bell, and it's met with another PSY-Frame. That'll come down. Attempting to use the field spell. He's burning for 500. And I think he goes into another goddamn Black Rose. Could you believe it? Clearing the field once again, getting rid of his own field spell. Activating another one, though, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Passing back. Top decks another Ice Bell. Burns for 500 more. Summons, I think, Gamma this time. I think that was Gamma. Pretty sure. And summoning Thought Ruler Archfiend. Passing back. Swinging for 25, I believe, is how much attack he is. Setting 1. Passing back. Swinging for 25. There's Quaking Mirror Force. Setting another back row. One card left in deck. Draws his last pathetic card. Yugi passes back, and that is the game 1. Both end up decking out, but the PSY-Frame player will have to be the last one because the last, on his turn, Invoked player draws his last card, passes back to the PSY-Frame player with no cards in deck and has to lose the duel right there. So that was game 1. I know it's PSY-Frames because you guys love to see PSY-Frames, and there's a deck out game 1. Like, how else could this go? It's insane. Dark Hole for the board clear, double terraforming. Card D. Draw 2. The 3-set back row. Pretty intensive opening. Another terraforming for Invocation. Activating it over top. Just throwing the one he searched to the grave because it really doesn't matter. Adding Alistair, the Invoker. Graveyard filled with a whole lot of nothing. Alistair being summoned. Activating effect to search Invocation. I think his only 2 cards in hand are the cards he drew off card D. So he might not have any negation, so I think he's sensing that and just trying to go in right now and get as much stuff as on the board as he can. He's got to watch out for traps. Because I don't know if you saw that at the very end of the last game, but Mirror Force is the last card he drew, so he does have battle traps. So he does have to watch out for those as well. The Floodgate Trap Holes that influenced the game last game. And there's the Mirror Force like I was talking about. Who would have guessed? Runs right into it. Draws 1. Passes back. Alistair is summoned. Activating effect. The effect is good. Still taking advantage of the no PSY-Frames in hand. He's trying to play all he can right now, hoping none of it will get stopped out of nowhere by an abrupt PSY-Frame negation. That Meltdown coming in pretty clutch, I would say. make so none of his fusions can get negated. And there's Overdrive. That card is a pain in the ass. Banishing his driver to banish Mechaba face down. 2 Mechabas down. And I believe that's all the Mechabas he's playing in his extra deck. So that's quite unfortunate. So much disruption in PSY-Frames. That's why I absolutely hate it. Invocation activating itself to return Alistair, I think, back to his hand. And passing back after setting another back row. Let's see if he's going to activate this card here. Well, it might be another invocation. It's another Alistair. Searching again off Alistair for invocation. And I don't know if he activates it, but he will. Okay. Banishing Alistair, banishing card D, going for Megalancia. No more Mechabas, like I said, he can go for, using invocation again to return Alistair back to hand. An interesting field. He'll swing in for 1,000. And another PSY-Frame is activated. There's Max C. Checking to see probably if they summon themselves at the same time. He does not have the field spell, so he will not get the benefit to synchro summon into a Black Rose. I think my friend Adam is there checking to see if they happen at the same time. Which I'm guessing they do. Activates another driver. To attempt to banish probably Megalancia, I would assume. And then it'll be met with a chaining of Twin Twister to kill both the drivers. And I think he's attempting to chain the third one. Or not the third one. Attempting to chain the other driver. To tribute away his overdrive. To tribute away his driver to banish something on this field. So it will activate. Because Twin Twister will activate his Chain Link 2. But they will still get cleared off the board. So that other PSY-Frame overdrive will not activate. Because it's being destroyed by Twin Twister. So a Psychic Field Zone comes down. D-Barrier for Synchro. I'm assuming. I mean, what else would he call? Alistair still chilling there. He cannot perform a Synchro Summon this turn, and all Synchro's effects are negated, and they cannot attack, I don't believe. So right now, I'm assuming they have a ruling question. My friend Adam there, making the call. So no Synchro will occur as expected, and card will come down to end the turn. And right now, I'm pretty sure they're in time. My brother had to play against the PSY-Frame player in time as well, and they went into game 3 in time, and it was basically sudden death, first damage, first change in life points win. Effect Valor hitting that Alistair. Might be Alistair beat now, but my brother had to play him. And in time, you guys want to know how he won? He normal summoned Ice Bill, burned for 500, and that's how he won the game. That is all the damage he needed to do. And you know what? I was thinking, like, the Ice Bells, like, it's so nice to have, like, a main deck Dukazi, because you never know when, like, a burn of 500 is going to be so clutch. Like, burn, screw burn decks, but it can help. Acquisitiveness, as you saw, they're not getting him anywhere, and Alistair's swinging for game. Not any big Invoked fusions, just little old Alistair. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this longer duel video. PSY-Frames playing against Invoked, getting 2-0 by Invoked. Very long and grueling match, though. God, I hate PSY-Frames. I hope you guys enjoyed watching PSY-Frames give Invokes a hard time. So, yeah, none of you play PSY-Frames. That's my tip of the day. Do not play PSY-Frames ever. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video here today. If you did, leave a like. Check out the videos that are up on the screen right now. Click on them. Go watch them. It'd be appreciated. Support the channel. Really does mean a lot. And as always, we're Killer signing out. We'll see you in the next one.